Hey Nursepreneurs, it's Catie Harris, the Nursepreneur Mentor, bringing you tips in business every Tuesday. So please hit that like button if you enjoy videos like this so that I know to keep making more of them for you. Okay, so let's get straight to the point. How much is a nurse business going to cost you to set up? This is a legit and really important question because I frequently get nurses who come to me looking for a quick money fix, right? And think that a business is the answer. And I just want to start out saying that this is not the right path for you if you're severely in debt or have money issues, because money problems will only be exacerbated in business startup costs. So you need to get your money under control first, and then you can allocate the amount of money that you're going to need to start a business, which in my opinion is going to be between $5,000 and $10,000 to have as a little nest egg. Then you're ready. All right, so let's talk about that 5 to 10,000. What is it that you're actually going to spend money on, and what is the time frame for this? So I have 10 vital resources that you are going to need to spend your money on. So this 5 to 10,000, and it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be something that you do over the course of several months or maybe over the course of a year. Depends on how long it takes you to get your business up and running. But that's about the minimum ballpark that you're going to spend on starting up a business. So what are you going to spend that money on? All right, so first there's little things. So number one would be your domain name and hosting and your website build. So those are numbers 1 and 2. The domain name and hosting is going to run you about $100 a year. So setting up, you can buy the domain name on GoDaddy or Namecheap or whatever place you want to buy your domain name, but then you need to host it somewhere, and that's going to be something like Bluehost or SiteGround, and that'll probably run you about $100 a year. Now, unless you are HTML and CSS proficient, you're going to need to get a website built, and I strongly recommend doing this on WordPress as opposed to other ones for SEO reasons, which I go over in a different video. But a website build by a professional who's going to do it right is going to cost you about $1,000. Now you can certainly get it done cheaper, and I know GoDaddy will do it for like $50 or something, but it's not going to be a website that you can grow with. Build the foundational website that looks good and that actually sells to start with, because this is such an important thing as you're building content and SEO. If your website is not up to par, you're going to have issues early on. So start this off right, get a professional website built that you are proud to show and that people come to it and they're like, oh wow, this is a real professional business. The other thing that you want to do is an email marketing platform. Now, I recommend ActiveCampaign over any of the free options. So I know MailChimp is free, but MailChimp won't do automation for you unless you get their paid account, and their paid account starts at $10 a month. ActiveCampaign from the outset costs $9 a month, so we're talking $108. Do not send emails to people without an email service provider. You can get into a lot of trouble with this. They have to have the ability to opt out of your emails. And if you don't, you can get into a lot of trouble and get your email shut down and all that kind of good stuff. It's $100 a year, technically $108 a year. Just get it set up, your email marketing platform. I highly recommend ActiveCampaign, and in another video, I do an ActiveCampaign setup, and you can use that to jumpstart your email service provider. Now, the next thing I recommend is cloud storage. So having a G Suite account where you have Google Drive or Dropbox or AWS or something, so you can store files and PDFs and lead magnets and audio and even video. Even though video, you should probably have a separate video hosting service, but cloud storage will run you about $20 a year, a Google Drive with extra space so that you can actually host a lot of stuff there. The Dropbox will cost you about $100 a year, so I would recommend the Google Drive. It's just so much easier, and you can build in your professional email software as well, which I also recommend that you do, which will cost you $50 a year. So the professional email is, so mine is Catie@catieharris.com. That's my professional email. It is a Gmail account, and I get all the access of Gmail. It costs me $50 a year, and then I have my support email, which is support@catieharris.com, which is another $50 a year. So in total, $100. The next thing I recommend is getting some kind of scheduling software. so people can make an appointment with you, whether it's a free consultation or the ability to talk to you about general questions or whatever it is that you're offering. Get a scheduling software. The last thing you want to do is have people email you and say, oh, are you available Wednesday? Nobody will available Thursday. No, are you available Friday? And then they stop emailing you because they get bored and they forget what they're emailing you for. Let them set up time with you on your schedule based on time that you have available, okay, so that you're not always scrambling for this. I use Acuity. Highly recommend it. It only costs me 10 bucks a month, so another $120 a year. There's also Calendly, which is great, and it's free, so you can use that, but use something. You have free options there. I like Acuity because it accepts payments, so it facilitates a lot of things for me. And I like the feature, some of the paid features that really make my life so much easier. And maybe in the beginning you just need a free account, but I would anticipate upgrading to a paid service fairly quickly. Now, the next thing you're going to spend money on is software for traffic generation, right? How do you get people to this beautiful website that you just had built and you spent all this money on and you want people to get there? So it really depends on where your traffic is coming from. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn because that has been one of the best platforms, social media platforms for me to spend my time on, to find nurses who are interested in business, or to find partnerships, or to find sponsorships for events that I'm hosting. So I invest in LinkedIn, the Sales Navigator, and that costs me 86 bucks a month. So we're talking $1,000. Most software, traffic generation software is going to cost you about that. So figure out what your main traffic generator is going to be. Are you going to do a podcast, a YouTube channel? Is LinkedIn your source? Maybe you want to invest in that. If Instagram and Pinterest are going to be your main traffic generators, you want to probably invest in some software that makes your life easier to really be professional, present yourself as professional, and just to schedule things out. It's just so much easier and it's so worth it. Now, be prepared to spend about $80 to $100 a month on some software for traffic generation, but it will be worth it in the long run. Now, if you're going to do YouTube like this, you are going to need some kind of video. Yeah, I use my Zoom account to record my videos, so that costs me 180 bucks a year. I have a camera that I use that costs maybe 80 bucks. It doesn't have to be expensive. I use my smartphone a lot, and I have little tripods. So, I have a video setup for the home, a cheat sheet that you can use that is going to be linked in the comments below that you can use as well, and set up a home video for $250. The next thing that I recommend that you invest in is going to be a business Canva account. Now, unless you're a graphic designer, or your sister's a graphic designer, or somebody in your family is doing all your graphic design, or you actually can afford to hire a graphic designer, which is really expensive, Canva is a life-changing software. It's amazing. And yes, you can get a free account, but the reason I recommend the business account, which will cost you about $120 a year, is because you can put your brand colors there, your brand fonts, you can resize images. Let's say you make something for a Facebook ad and then realize that you want to put it on Instagram. In order to do that on the free account, you would have to open up an Instagram template and then recreate everything you just did. Whereas with the business account, I can just hit resize and it takes it from a Facebook ad dimension to an Instagram ad dimension, or an Instagram TV dimension, or whatever it is that you want to resize it to. And it's just so amazing that it's worth 10 bucks a month. So I would highly, highly encourage you to invest in that, and you can get all kinds of different templates. They have the templates already on there, but I've invested in other templates as well to make my life a million times easier, because I hate graphic design. I just want to pick the colors and say, yeah, that looks great. And that's what I've been able to do with a business Canva account. Now, the last two categories are going to be your biggest spend, and this is where you're going to spend most of your money. So you have to think about your marketing budget, because putting your business together is one thing. Actually getting people to your business is your marketing, and that's going to cost you the most. And this is where I would aim to spend about $2,000 to $5,000 in the first couple of months, especially. And then you're gonna have to build a marketing budget. Like, how much are you willing to spend a month to bring people to you? So we've mentioned the other traffic generator software platform. So you're already spending $1,000 a month on that. I'm sorry, $1,000 a year to bring people to your website. What are some of the other marketing things that you're going to spend money on? Well, it depends on what it is that you do. If you're, let's say, concierge nursing, you're probably going to need a budget for printing cost, for flyers, for going out to meet people, going to conventions or conferences that doctors are likely going to be at that you want to introduce yourself. For coaches, you might want to do speaking events and go out to get people to hear your message. You might want to write a book, and there's going to be expenses that are associated with that. Then there's paid advertising. If you have a course or you want to host something all in one place, you'll need some sort of course board or learning management system. So that's where you're going to spend about $2,000 to $5,000 just to get started. And then you have to consider, what do you want to spend on a monthly basis? And I would say your marketing budget, a healthy marketing budget, would be, maybe $1,000. You can do a lot of stuff for free, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that makes your life a million times easier if you could just spend a little extra money. And that's something that you are going to have to decide what it is. Which speaking engagements are going to be the most pivotal for you, that'll have the best return on investment. And the last thing that I would mention is getting a mentor. And this, initially, when you're first starting out, you don't need the mentor that's $50,000 or $20,000 or whatever. You can easily find someone to help you get up and running for between $2,000 and $5,000. So, and that would be a very good startup mentor to get your business rolling, getting the first customers in, and then you get ready to scale. And that's when you might want to invest in a $20,000 mentor or whatever. But you don't need a $20,000 mentor to get started. So having somebody, though, to push you along is going to be vital, because those early days of your business can be really hard, really hard, and you lose momentum and you're like, why am I doing this? And nobody's listening, nobody cares, nobody blah, 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 blah. And we all go through it. So having a group of people to help you with that is it's a really vital part of business growth, and having a mentor to guide it is vital. All right, guys, so let's recap. Okay, so I have to cheat and look at my notes here to remember what it is that we just said. But the first thing, number one, was domain hosting for about $100 a year. Number two, the website build, so about $1,000 outright to get that built. An email marketing platform such as ActiveCampaign, which is what I recommend. That'll cost you exactly $108 a year. Cloud storage like Google Drive as opposed to Dropbox. Dropbox is great, but it'll cost you about 5 times as much. So cloud storage with Google Drive will cost you $20 a year and give you tons and tons of storage. Professional email service with Gmail, a work email is really vital. That'll cost you $50 a year. Scheduling software. You can start out with a free Calendly account, but if you want more robust features, I highly recommend ActiveCampaign, another $120 a year. Software for traffic generation. Pick your traffic generator, what it is that you want, and then get a software. You'll spend about $1,000 to help you really make that professional and most useful for you. Number 8 is a business Canva account. Will cost you about $120 a year. This is essential, especially if you're doing anything like lead magnet design, social media, designing flyers, any type of business collateral. Having your brand colors right there in your font, you might think, oh, I can just, but unless you've memorized your numbers, it's just so, all you have to do is click. It's so easy. And then marketing is going to be one of your biggest outlays. So budget between that initial budget would be about $2,000 minimum to spend on marketing strategy or marketing conferences, speaking engagements, anything along those lines. And then finally, get a mentor to help you move forward. 95% of businesses fail, not because they weren't good ideas, but because they didn't have the right direction to move them forward. All right, guys. That is it for today. Please let me know what you think. If you want to tell us how much you've spent to get your business up and running, it helps all of us to have a realistic expectation of what we're getting into. My very conservative estimate, and it's a low-end estimate, is about $5,000 to $10,000. 5 being really, really, if you're just amazing on a shoestring budget, I would anticipate closer to 10,000, and that's just startup cost. Then you have to factor in your monthly maintenance costs to keep that business moving forward. I hope this helps. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video.